tunnel I rise. Live, live, ha ha, live from the tunnel I rise. Ha.
1 2 1 2. It's Equalize Live back with you. Welcome back. PreciseMC and ILLu with you today. We got music. We got hip hop. You just heard the Equalize Live theme song, which you can get at equalizerecords.com. We're brought to you by the shop at Equalize Records. equalizerecords.com/shop, as always, where you can get the fly merch, CDs, cassettes, shirts, hoodies, anything Equalize Records you can find at the shop at equalizerecords.com/shop. ILLu, how are you feeling this week?
What's up, P? I am alive and doing well because of that. Thank you for hosting once again. And I want to surprise you right now. I want to give you an introduction that I don't think I've properly given you yet.
You're going to give me an introduction?
Yes, PreciseMC. You are an esteemed host, and I want to point out all of the prolific things that you have done, mainly as a rapper. 1, being a solo artist. 2, being a collaborator. And the solo artist, I think your last solo project was, besides the Lucy's that we did, was the Shernock Poems 2. Am I correct?
I think so, yeah.
I think so, too. That's a long wait. That was like 3 years.
Ooh, 3 years.
But beyond that, you had PR Department.
Yes, sir.
2 records. You had Outlook and then Symmetry. And then on the Ill Effect side, which
and
is...
Pilot, you forgot the first one.
What? Did I miss one? Where?
Yeah, because it wasn't on Equalize.
So did you guys have your own artist for just PR Department? Why doesn't it pop up?
On the website?
Oh, I'm on your solo page. Fuck. Yes,
but,
Pilot included. And then you also have your project with DJ B, Ill Effect, which you have a ton of releases I have to catch up on. But your latest ones are the 2 solo songs, right? And Footprints.
Yep, singles.
And then you had Love Jones that dropped on Valentine's Day. So big shout out to you. Keep rapping. I know you hate yourself. I know you want to stop. But I love you and I want you to keep rapping it. And you have done very well up to this point. And I know you will.
Send me some new beats and I'll keep rapping.
You know I will.
Anybody can send me beats, not just ILLu. PreciseMC on the social media. Send me some beats.
Are they all the same throughout all social medias?
I think Facebook's PreciseMC13.
I bet it'll come up if you search.
Yeah.
How you doing now? How you feeling?
Doing all right. Living the life. A little bummed that our teams got eliminated from the playoffs. So
yeah, we'll talk.
Sports are kind of dead to me at this point.
Yeah,
so
yeah, we'll talk about it.
Yeah, but fuck them Astros.
Fuck the Astros.
Fuck the Astros. Yeah, fuck
them Astros.
Fuck them. Good thing they got knocked out by Tampa Bay.
Yeah. Fuck,
anyway,
fuck the Rays now, though. I hate the Rays again. So.
Okay, we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it. I can't believe you just came at me that hot on a Rays take. But anyway, we got hip hop to talk about.
Yeah, let's get it.
Because we listened to 2 albums this week, like we usually do. If you have suggestions on what we should listen to, hit us up.
Please let us know
on social media. Equalize Records.
And we did this to kind of get you back into modern hip hop, but we're gonna go back a little bit because I wanted you to give me an album to listen to. And what was that?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't go too deep into the catalog. I was just like, hey, these are some groups that I thought about. This was a group coming up first that you hadn't heard of, so I said, go ahead and listen to the album. It's the Percussions.
And I'm really glad you mentioned this one, and I'll get into it. But yeah, what was the name of it? 5 Sparrows and 2 cents.
5 Sparrows for 2 cents.
For
yes,
2 cents.
I believe it was it's their second album, but it was a relaunch of the classic Raucous Records.
Yeah, it's not like a rebranding, but they folded under the previous distributor, and then they came back and they started up. And this was the first one, and I remember not knowing this group, but do you remember Kids in the Hall?
I do.
They were on Raucous when their first stuff dropped, I think, and that's what caught my attention back in the day.
Yep, and they also did a thing maybe a year later, and it was like a 50, I think it was called the Raucous 50, where they had independent artists, and they released 50 independent albums via the internet. I think it was like 2007, 2008.
Wow, I either forgot about that or something.
And there was all sorts of different artists that we know. I mean, I should have pulled it up, but it's got like Camber, Roddy Rod. It's got some. Yeah, I'm drawing a blank, but
You got
there was a group called Third Brilliance that it was a hip hop group that I still talk to those fools today.
it. Oh shit, really? And that
Yeah.
was on Raucous?
That was on Raucous. It was called the Raucous 50.
When Raucous was working and functioning like it did, like their discography, insane. They have Black Star, Talib Kweli, and Mos Def, and their solo projects. Pharoah Monch's debut, both sound bombings, both Lyricist Lounge, which are like huge in my teenage hip hop like listening. Big L released a big picture on there. They had
Did he?
Yeah, I didn't even know that. I'm looking at it right now. And Reflection Eternal was on there. High Tech's solo stuff is on there. The Beat Miners had a Cool G Rap. And then I said before, Kids in the Hall. Of course, these guys, the percussionists. But Marco Polo released Port Authority on there.
Percussions.
The percussions. Thank you. All right, I'm going to stop. Raucous did its thing, and I just want to shout them out because they are... I look up to them in every single way, like trying to build up Equalize, and I still do. And they did massive things for hip hop, underground hip hop especially, and I really look up to them.
I'm right there with you. Raucous was my blueprint for hip hop coming up. I'd always heard hip hop in my younger years. My best friends always listened to hip hop, and I was like, all right, whatever. I just didn't get it. And then around middle school, it finally hit me. And I was like, oh, cool. But I was listening to what was on the radio at the time. So we're talking, Dr. Dre and Eminem, Snoop Dogg, and
Right.
Cash Money and all that kind of stuff. And I was like, oh, cool, this is rap. And then I literally
Nelly came out around that time too.
Yep. I was watching Rap City.
Oh, I didn't have BET.
Yep. We in the mobile home, I had a BET back in the day. But
Where was this?
California, Northern California.
Was it Sacramento?
We're like half an hour away from Sacramento, but like that's the big city you talk about when it's like, oh, this is where I'm from. It's that's the region,
Right.
the Northern California region. But yeah, I was watching Rap City one day and a song came on. It was called "Oh No" from Mos Def, Pharoah Monch, and Nate Dogg.
The video.
And that moment is when I really fell in love with hip hop. I was like, oh shit, like this is what is happening? What am I listening to?
Oh,
and so
no. I love
exactly.
that song.
And so then I got Sound Bombing 2, or no, Lyricist Lounge 2, that was on.
Yep.
And I was just, it was the floodgates open, and I was like, holy fuck, who are all these guys?
Do you remember Kazaa?
Yeah.
Kazaa
on LimeWire.
Raucous discography with
But
Kazaa.
yeah, so that's the literal single most important hip hop song in my hip hop growth, because I probably would have, aged out of it if I was still listening to what was on the radio and all this stuff. But I was like, oh, there's MCing, there's DJing. Like
how that song didn't get bigger is beyond me. That song is so good.
But yeah, so the Mos Def
R.I.P. Nate Dogg.
R.I.P. Nate Dogg, King of the Hooks.
King of the Hooks. Everything.
But yeah,
he did.
so Raucous, that was. I ate up all that stuff. Talib Kweli. You could probably hear some Talib Kweli influence in what I rap now.
Of course.
I
obviously do.
But yeah, that whole group, that whole
shout out
Raucous.
Talib Kweli for doing his podcast game. By the way, have you checked on that?
No, but he's doing it big. Budden's still doing it big, I believe.
I don't I don't want to say I don't like Joe Budden, but I don't know. He seems like a troll.
Yes, I'm with you. But anyway. Back to Raucous. Raucous was great.
Yes.
Raucous is my wheelhouse of hip hop. So in 2006, the Raucous tried to do their little relaunch. They put the percussions out there, and it fit the vibe. It was conscious. It was underground. And this album for me it wasn't one of those transcending albums, but 14 years later, all of a sudden I thought about it, and I was like, ooh, damn, I remember that one as a kid. I re-listened to it, and I was like, woo, this is hot. I dig it.
I didn't know Stro Elliott was in this group. I've heard of Stro Elliott, I think, from his solo work. Does he have a...
Well, probably, because I think there's a rapper named Stro, and it's spelled in all caps, but it's not
Stro
the same
Elliott?
guy. No, there's a rapper Stro,
Right.
I think,
Yeah.
and there's Stro Elliott.
I think I've heard of the Stro Elliott specifically.
All right, well,
I think.
anyway, yeah, so Percussions, 5 Sparrows for 2 Cents, their second album. It's a dense album sonically.
Tons of tracks, too.
Oh, yeah, and see, that's what we're talking about.
Mid-2000s.
That's what we've been talking about.
Yeah.
There's what, like 17-ish tracks.
Yeah, 16.
You cut 6 to 7 of those, and you got a really solid album.
I think so too. I agree with that.
Because there's a few missteps on there, but the sound of this one, like I said, it's very sonically dense. Heavy drums, heavy basses, heavy synths.
Yeah,
this is like a rock concert almost.
I'll say the same, and I think they intended that. And I looked into it a little bit, and one of the dudes, Mr. J, is actually in a punk band.
Yeah, nowadays.
Yeah, or
I saw
has
that
been
too.
at some point, and that just fits the mold because I thought right away, like, this sounds like some early mid 2000s pop punk like kid who's rapping right now but really wants to be in a screamo band.
Yeah, he's also got kind of like a Zach from Rage Against the Machine vibe to him.
Yeah, like vocal, he's going for that hyper aggressive, like shouting almost,
and very conscious. But like, dude,
his lyrics, yeah, for sure.
Dude is rapping his ass off though. He's got that dense syllable.
Yeah,
style.
I preferred Mr. J over Stro Elliott. To me, Stro Elliott sounds like a knockoff Charlie Tuna, and he wasn't even trying to hide it.
Well, okay, so Stro is what I would call a producer that raps.
Right. I think maybe that's how I know him, because of the production work.
Right. So like I think he would be beat maker first. He did all the beats on the album.
Yeah. Which I'll say I dug a vast majority of these beats.
I did too. It's fantastic. So I think that's where you kind of get he's not the greatest rapper, but he's definitely not a bad rapper.
I never thought. Yeah, I'll agree with that. I never thought he was a bad rapper.
Yeah, but and then there's the third guy in the group that got kicked out later on.
Yeah, I couldn't really tell what the hell happened there.
I don't like Rez. I'm sorry. He's fine, but
he sounded like their friend who can rap but shouldn't rap.
I wouldn't go that far, but I didn't dig his style. But yeah, after they kind of broke up, they took a long hiatus. They came back like 5-6 years ago as just the percussions with Mr. J and Stro.
Duo.
But I think that's the core of the group anyway. And you could tell on 5 Sparrows for 2 Cents, like that, those were the two driving forces behind the album. And Rez just kind of popped up here and there, and he was
like
whatever.
A
but
feature most of the time.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I dig this album. It's I still bump it hard.
I felt like the beats have they don't sound as dated as the raps. I feel like the raps are a little more dated, and the production stands
They're
out.
definitely of the time, and I feel like they would produce a dope live show.
Yeah, and
especially if they had a band behind them.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, and I think that's where the rock influence came in. I don't think the rock influence was utilized very well, though. I felt like they kind of like it was forced in there, instrumental wise.
Yeah, I mean, and there's a few forced tracks, and they kind of have like a rock influence throughout, but when they went heavy rock, it was like one song or 2 songs,
and the outro was just like a rock track, right?
Right, and they had like a
which I dug it, and it would do really well live. I just don't think it aged very well.
Yeah, there's a couple songs that have like a reggae vibe.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the reggae songs, the heavy rock songs, you could get rid of those for me, and you got a really, really strong album.
Yeah, these guys are do you remember, or did you ever hear of Giant Panda or Ugly Duckling?
No.
They were like a West Coast version of these guys.
Okay.
I think at one point they didn't. I think they were on the same record label as People Under the Stairs.
Oh, okay.
And I got into them through, I think, my roommate at the time. Who shout out Steve Franklin, shout out Rhythmics. He was the first beat maker I ever met in my life, and I got lucky enough to be his roommate freshman year of college, and he put me on to making beats.
Wow.
So shout out Lerix, Lerrix. He's on Facebook, and he's got dope beats, and he's crazy graphic designer, and he's actually produced a GIF for Instagram for the NBA account.
Wow.
Yeah,
well, look at you, a little bit of an origin story for you right there. You got an origin story for me, you got an origin story for ILLu.
Yeah, I'm glad we did that. My producer name at the time was Manute.
Oh, nope.
So bad.
I'm trying to think of what. Oh, you know what? Let's get on that. I'm trying to remember what my first rap name was.
You don't remember? This was 15 years ago, and I remember it like the back of my hand.
Okay. When I was in middle school, I rapped as TKC.
Your initials?
Because
No.
I remember when America Online used to give the little CDs with free internet time?
Yeah.
Well, back when the internet was first popping, that's how old I am, old man P. When the internet was first popping.
How old are you?
30 something, 32 or 30.
I turned 32 this year.
So I might be 33. I don't know how old I am. That's how old I am. But bro, this just shows you how fast things have moved in the last, 30 years. Like,
yeah, everything.
I'm 30 and I feel old now because I remember books when you actually like had books that you would read and magazines.
People still read.
Bro, I grew up without a cell phone. That's how old I am.
How old were you when you got your cell phone?
I was probably in like late middle school, so like 8th, 9th grade.
I think, yeah. I was
or 7th or 8th grade, yeah.
Flip phone, I still have the same number.
Bro, yeah, I've got my first number. But all right, we're getting way off track.
Yeah, all right, percussions.
So TKC.
Oh.
TKC.
We're on so many tangents.
I know. I'm trying to go back. It's like Inception. You keep going levels and then you got to go back. They made you do a username, and so I was, a kid. I was probably like 7 or 8, so I was like, I'm going to be TK Cyber because my initials are TK.
Oh.
So I was TK Cyber. So then when I started rapping, I was like, I'll just be TKC. And I have no idea when PreciseMC came about.
Really?
Yeah, I don't remember when that happened. Probably around the time I met DJB in 05. But it was just
you
Precise.
Met him back then?
Yeah.
Wow.
Do we need to tell the Ill Effect meeting story?
We got to get him on, and then you can tell it.
All right.
Let's
05.
Let's get back to the percussions.
Back to the percussions. Yeah. So 06, Raucous Records release.
Yes.
This was quintessential mid-aughts hip-hop.
Yeah, for sure.
And I dig it. And it was cool. I get what you're saying about Strobe sounding like Charlie Tuna, but
Yeah.
when you have that voice, it's bound to,
Other people have baritone voices, and I think I'm biased because I grew up like a huge J5 fan. Huge. Yeah. Like
What's golden?
That blew up on MTV, and I was just like, "Oh my god, it's it's Jurassic 5." That was so cool. That was back in the day before like streaming services, obviously. So you had to check in on their individual websites to see if they dropped music.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, yep. I think I'm biased because he really does sound like Charlie.
I mean, I didn't make the connection until you said it, but it makes perfect sense. But that's just. That
shows my bias.
Not super classic, but it's dope. It's good hip hop,
especially
coming out of 06.
I enjoyed it.
And then we listened to a newer release.
Very new, actually.
Very new. Yeah, I got a text about this one, and then, you talked about it too. Black Thought, Streams of Thought 3 or whatever it is.
Streams of Conscious, right? Did I get that wrong?
I don't know. I don't remember. I have Streams of Thought on my notes, but I could be wrong.
Streams of Thought. Why would I not get that? God damn it. Why did I do that?
That's why I'm the host.
Streams of Thought 3, Cain and Abel. Thank you for pointing that out, though.
Yep. Yeah, so this one, I don't know why Black Thought... let me correct this, because he probably is from people who know, but why isn't Black Thought considered one of the best MCs ever? He
is for actual hip-hop heads. For people who listen to radio, like mainstream stuff, you're obviously not. You're going to know him as the guy that's on Jimmy Kimmel.
That is a travesty.
And
Black Thought
is he in your top 5? That's all I need to know.
I don't have a top 5, and I haven't thought about it, but I would assume so.
We should do an episode on that.
Real fucking good.
He blows my mind every time from start to finish, every song, I'm tuned in. And then you get to the end of a song and you realize it all connects. This guy connected every single word and made it sound like he was punching you in the face the whole time.
He's incredible. His breath control, his cadences, his structure, his lyricism, everything. He's a master MC. There's no other way to put it.
And it shines on this. I really dug this. And I wanted to say, while we are so close to talking about the percussions and how they implemented rock, I feel like this album implemented rock way more smoothly and naturally. It didn't sound forced.
The beats on this album were fan-effing-tastic.
Yeah, I don't even know. Is it? It's not the Soul Council still, right?
No, He changes it. He's got a new producer every stream of thoughts. It was Ninth first, and I think it was Salam Remy for the second one.
Yes, you're right. Yeah, that was so good. Both of those were good.
But yeah, I mean, the beats did not disappoint on this. And you know me, I'm a beat guy when it comes to if a song is dope or not. And
Me too.
Master lyricist like Black Thought with a bunch of banging ass beats. This project was fantastic. I loved it.
And it was consistent. There's no filler. Everything has a place and everything is there for a reason.
Yep.
It was so well put together. And I feel like, weren't the other two EPs, was this one a little longer?
I thought, yeah, because when I started listening to it, I was like, all right, cool. We got like 6-7 songs.
That's exactly what I was
This is like
thinking.
an album.
Yeah, this is an actual album. And I feel like this is the solo album people have been asking for all these years.
Yeah, and I mean,
Even though
I hate to say that I'm not intimately familiar with Black Thought's catalog with the Roots and solo all these years. He's been fantastic throughout, but I feel like he did a Jay-Z on this album to where when Jay-Z dropped 444, it was like, oh, like he got introspective all of a sudden and like he's vulnerable. This Black Thought album, I feel was like he had some great songs. Like the song structure was great. He was getting real, personal with some of his lyrics. Like he wasn't just rapping for the sake of rapping. He had shit to say.
Right.
And like for some, it just felt different to me. Like he hit different this time.
I think that was, I can't speak for him, but I feel like he did that on purpose. He wanted the listener to realize that. And he did. He's had similar subject matters with the Roots, obviously. They've had like 15 albums. He's talked about everything. And especially socially conscious things.
Right.
And on this album, he took it head on. He brought in everything 2020 has to offer, and he gave his opinion. And he did it so, like, eloquently.
And
he made his opinions, like, clear.
Yeah. And the hallmark of a fantastic MC is when you make it look effortless.
It's like, I don't know if he writes this down, but it's like he's just thinking these words up as he's rhyming. Did you ever see that freestyle with Funk Flex?
I think so. Yeah.
Like 10 minutes of just nonstop over.
Yeah.
Like I've rewatched that so many times. This album felt like an extended, structured version of that.
Yeah, but with super dope banging beats.
Yeah. Obviously, the production, so good.
Yeah, and it was clean, but it was dirty at the same time, and it was just.
Also go so far as to say that it was too clean at certain points. Like when he brings in Portugal the Man, some of that stuff for me is too polished, and it's like he is so good that it's not mainstream, but it's just overproduced.
No, I'm with you because I don't know Black Thought and his relationship with Portugal the Man and that group and everything.
Yeah, I never knew that.
So to me, when I saw that name, because I do pop radio in my day job, and I see that name all the time.
I didn't mention that in your intro.
Yeah, so when I saw Portugal the Man, I was like, oh, is this like a Fallon connection? Like, did he see this band one day and then he just became friends with them? Because it was a weird, connection to make. But I mean, I thought it was okay. But yeah, I'm with you. It felt a little too clean. It felt a little too. But that's what you're gonna get.
I still like
from Black
songs.
Thought. They're great songs.
Yeah.
But that's another thought I had throughout the album. I was like, man, this is the guy that's on Jimmy Fallon now.
Right, this dude. Oh
and
man,
it's like,
imagine he's basically living every rapper's dream. The Roots are in a place where they can make money playing music, so much money that they can fund their entire like creative ideas. Don't have to worry about anything.
Yep.
I look up to those dudes so much. The Roots are one of my favorite.
And like I said, going on Fallon, you're meeting a ton of people too.
Yeah,
so you're doing a lot of networking.
Yeah, and especially other artists that you're being the backing band for. It's direct contact with people.
And honestly, he's a goofball, but shout out to Jimmy Fallon for putting the Roots on because he could have put any sort of, popular whatever hip hop group. He took at that point underground legends. I mean,
yeah, still are.
Roots are one of the greatest bands of all time, not just hip hop bands.
Yeah.
But before Jimmy Fallon, hip hop fans knew of the Roots, but the world didn't necessarily know the Roots, and now Roots are a household name.
And they're seen as a band, which they were the whole time, and I'm glad you said that. Like, they toured as a band. They had whole horn sections that they would bring on tour with them. Like, they are showmen. They're beyond a hip hop group. They're a band. I'm glad you said that.
And it's beautiful, and it's something I wish I could be a part of in terms of having a band.
That would be dope.
But it's just, I mean, we've tried it a couple times, but it's just so hard to get that many people together and you know, different points in your lives and different schedules and all this stuff. But every single time I either performed with a band or with a drummer at least,
That's dope.
it's just on another level.
That's really cool.
It's on another level.
Did you just like freestyle? What'd you do with the drummer?
Okay, so we used to do it's kind of an open mic, but it was like a local showcase type deal. It was, I think, 2 or 3 Sundays a month. It was pretty frequent, but it wasn't weekly. It was called The Session. It happened at the Java Cafe,
Cool.
Fair Oaks, California.
Shout out.
So that was our first like open mic deal, and we went to it, and that's where we met most of our crew that became the One Nation Army.
One Nation Army.
Oh yeah, man, we were part of a huge collective. We were trying to do Wu-Tang West Coast.
Cool.
Oh yeah, it was a ton of people.
Is that on? That's not on Spotify, is it?
I don't think so, but we've got a few mixtapes out.
It makes me think of One Man Army.
Okay.
Do you know who that is?
I do not.
Dude from Binary Star.
Okay.
One of the dudes from Binary Star is One Man Army. One Below. His first name was One Man Army.
Gotcha.
Go back.
But I'm getting off topic again. That showcase used to have a drummer called Drum Talk, and this fool would literally sit down and within like 2 or 3 beats of hearing your instrumental would back your instrumental.
That's a good drummer. That's dope.
Yeah, he was incredible. So every time we would get up there, you know, he'd start, you know, getting busy to our beats, and it just adds a whole nother level of artistry and of energy and of just awesomeness to the set.
Yeah.
And then, you know, because we kept going back, he'd start to learn our shit, and he'd start getting even more crazy because he'd know where the fills should be,
right.
and he'd know where our hooks were coming in, and he knew all this stuff. Yeah, so performing with a band is something that I wanted to do my entire life. I was like, if we ever get famous and we ever blow up and we start touring, I had a crew back home. I was like, you guys aren't working. We're going to do this shit and make a little band. But
it's a dream.
alas, it never happened.
I'm going to get you there one day.
Well, I mean, you were part of some groups with some instrumentation, weren't you?
Yeah, super cool. Actually, still am. Technically in a group called Corner Store with
Corner Store. Yeah, I didn't want to sound stupid when I said it, but yeah, Corner Store.
Shout out Corner Store. We haven't performed in a bit. I mean, even pre-pandemic, obviously, but yeah, it's really cool because Mark provides clarinet, which he is extremely good at. Like he went to school for playing in songwriting for clarinet.
Yeah, sidebar.
Very dope. Shout out Mapstar, by the way. Go on.
Shout out Mapstar, because before I met all you guys and I was just coming to shows trying to, you know, get on and get into the Vermont scene, I saw Corner Store and I was like, oh shit, look at this. Burns has got like a whole crew behind him. And I saw Mapstar, getting busy with the clarinet. And then all of a sudden he drops an album and he's rapping, and I'm like, oh shit, this is the clarinet dude? He's rapping? Like, I didn't know Mav before that. Right. And all of a sudden it's like, oh shit, like
the stuff
I
with
knew
Burns,
him as a player.
The stuff with Burns is actually another group that Corner Store kind of merged into because of Burns. Right. Shout out Mr. Burns. And that's called Fresh Patterns, which I think is also still a thing.
Fresh Patterns, that's what I'm saying. Like, I saw Fresh Patterns, I saw you guys, so I'm like, yeah, but it just blew my mind when Mav started.
Didn't we meet before that?
I definitely didn't meet you before I saw you guys performing.
Really?
I didn't think I started talking to you until Equalize was getting popping.
I thought I met you before, though.
We probably like met in passing, but I don't think we became friends or really talked. It was just like, oh yeah, this is ILLu.
Because Fresh Patterns is 2017. I thought I knew you before 2017 for some reason. Anyway,
I thought you.
What are we even? We're on like 3 tangents right now.
We're just talking about hip hop, man. This is what we do.
Let's get back to the hip hop. Should we wrap up? Do we have anything more to say about Streams of Thought 3?
It's just super dope.
I really, that Swizz Beats beat was like ridiculous. I didn't like it at first, but it grew on me once.
I liked the beat too. I could have done without Swizz on the track.
Yeah. Well, good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
Yeah.
Good morning.
I can't stand Swizz Beats, but that's the best Swizz Beats beat in a long time.
Yeah, I mean, once the rhythm came in, those drums fucking knock. And I love it.
Yep.
And Pusha T,
Pusha T was great.
His thing. Killer Mike came through.
Who was the other feature?
Schoolboy Q.
Yeah, I didn't like Schoolboy's verse.
Oh man, that was my favorite Schoolboy Q verse in like years.
Yeah, I wasn't rocking with it.
It sounded like. Have you listened to a lot of it? Of his stuff?
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan.
I'm a pretty big fan. Like he had an album come out in 2012, I think, called "Happens and Contradictions," and this sounds like he's back in that era.
But that's the thing. Like, we had very few features on this album, and I did not care at all because Black Thought just carries the shit out of it.
Yeah, this is. It's weird that he would label this Streams of Thought 3 because you would think it's I think this is singularly his best solo
work. Yep,
Yeah.
I'm with you. Especially because I don't think I probably listened to Volume 2 once, but I definitely was popping on Volume 1
really
because
like
it was nice.
Salam Remy production.
Right, but those definitely felt like EPs
Yeah.
and or mixtapes, whereas this one's like,
Exactly.
this is a full body of work. This is,
And
you know.
it seemed like there was a common thread through every single song. And the other two were, it's just longer. I think it's just because it's 13 songs that it feels that way.
Oh, we forgot completely to talk about our favorite tracks off of the Percussions album.
Oh.
And then also going back to what we started with Raucous, one of my favorite songs, just in general, probably in my top 100,
Which one?
Miss January from the Percussions featuring Talib Kweli.
Damn.
That might be one of my favorite Talib Kweli verses of all time.
Ooh, hot take. I did like it. I wasn't going to say that.
I didn't say it was his best. I said it's one of my favorites of all time.
Yeah, oh man, imagine getting a Talib verse on your album.
Yep. I mean, I'm sure it was a Raucous connection.
Yeah.
The label was like, "Oh, we got the single that we want to put out, and let's get our big time alumni on here."
Yeah, and I didn't think Talib Kweli had anything to do with Raucous at that point until this album, obviously.
Right, but that's one of my favorite Talib Kweli verses. I would be remiss if I didn't say that Miss January, one of the standout tracks on on the Percussions album.
5 sparrows and 2 cents, right?
2 cents. Yep.
2 cents.
But yeah, Talib Kweli murdered that track.
That was dope. When you got another, I gotta look up the track list again. I forgot to write.
Oh,
this down.
we don't have to go back. I just wanted to mention my favorite because that Talib Kweli verse merited some special attention.
I had a track that I wanted to mention though. It was the track Vader March, and I think it was the beat that really stood out for me on that one. Honestly, I don't think the rap really did anything for me throughout. I did like Mr. J though. I'll say that. I liked Vader March. I liked Shabak. The first actual
the
track.
first one. That's a beautiful album opener.
Yeah,
That's such
it's
a
not
good
the intro,
album opener.
but I really like how they did this, and you won't see people with 30-second intros anymore.
Right.
And they just bring in this. I think it would be included in the song today. It's just funny,
of course,
looking at.
But that beat is so good.
Yeah, and perfect way to start an album, like you said.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of structuring albums, and that's usually the type of jam I like to start with. I like to start with just a punch them in the face, energetic. This is what you're getting this time around. Let's do it. That's a good one.
Yeah, I feel like I shit on him too much because I did enjoy this album.
It's not a classic album by any means, but it's definitely a good, solid hip hop album that I still bump. So.
Worthy of a listen for sure if anybody's listening.
Yeah, and then Streams of Thought, Volume 3, fantastic.
What were your favorite?
State Prisoner was dope. The Magnificent was
State Prisoner was my favorite. I'll say that.
The Magnificent was dope.
Yeah, that one was super cool.
I mean, I like them all, man. It's a strong project.
Yeah, I like the We Could Be United or We Could Be Good United song. There was he had some really pessimistic views at certain points, but he also was optimistic for the future and how everything's hopefully going to come together. Hopefully, who knows? We might be dead by the time this.
Yeah, that asteroid might hit.
Yeah, the asteroid might hit. But I want to shout out the Schoolboy Q song because I really like Steakum. The beat was just this dirty ass boom bap beat, but you don't really hear Q over anymore. He's got more of a trap sound these days.
Yeah,
I think that's a lot of the label doing him in. But I'll leave that out. Yeah, Schoolboy Q. I thought I murdered that song.
Yeah. So if you have any suggestions of what we should listen to,
please
hit us up.
Let us
on our social media.
No, Equalize Records, Equalize VT on Twitter. ILLu VT everywhere. We got PreciseMC everywhere. What are we into now? We just talked about hip hop for a good amount of time, but we don't there's not really a lot of sports to talk about, right?
Well, I mean, we have to update the people because they love our sports talk.
Yep, I've heard many great things about the sports section.
Our teams did not fare so well in the hiatus.
No,
the Yanks and the A's have been eliminated.
The quest for World Series number 28 is still on, continuing into 2021.
And the window for the small market David versus Goliath story has now closed. We're done.
Well, the Rays, literally the smallest payroll in the league, are facing the largest payroll in the league, which I think is basically the same thing, right?
Okay, so the beginning of the episode, you said some inflammatory things about the Rays. So does that mean that you're a Dodgers fan, or you just hate the Rays for bouncing the Yankees?
Obviously I hate them for bouncing the Yankees, but it's deeper than that because there's just been some tension between the two teams, and they throw at each other. And then this year, the manager for the A's, his name's Cash, he, not in so many words, threatened to throw at the head of a Yankees player. And it was just like, I don't like that guy anymore.
All right. As long as you're not a Dodgers fan, because I would have to end the podcast right here and tell you to go.
I'm rooting for the Dodgers.
Oh, God, that's disgusting.
No, fuck the Rays. I can't bang with the Rays.
Everybody talking about how 2020 is the worst.
Mookie Betts is so good, dude.
I love Mookie Betts is dope. Do you see that catch the other night?
I'm so glad he's not on the Red Sox anymore. Fuck the Red Sox. Fuck the Astros.
Yeah, fuck the Astros. But yeah man, if 2020 is indeed the apocalyptic year, if fucking the Lakers and the goddamn Dodgers win championships within a month of each other, fuck that, dude.
Well, let's get into it. Let's give LeBron his props, because you got to admit, he won again.
Why do I have to get... yeah, sure.
He won.
LeBron won a championship. Cool. He beat a team with one guy.
He won. What? No. Bam came back.
Bro, you mean to tell me that two guys coming back off of injuries right away is going to make that big of a difference?
That team beat Giannis. If they can beat Giannis, who cares?
Well, because, all right, don't get me started on the Bucks. I think the Bucks are one of those,
Giannis is gone.
Pretender
He's gone.
Teams. But, man, okay, I'm not the Lakers or whatever, but come on, you didn't beat a full strength Miami Heat.
They didn't need to. They had tougher competition in the West, arguably.
Okay, and plus they got beat one game.
Wow.
Some of the other games were super close. I mean, it's not like I want to see a series where two teams are evenly matched, and this was not.
This is just this is you being a hater. You hate LeBron.
Yes. No, I hate the Lakers.
You hate LeBron and the Lakers.
I am disappointed in LeBron James. I like LeBron James.
I
think he's one of the greatest of all time.
Good.
LeBron is dope. We've been talking about this for 3 weeks now.
He's been in the league for 17 years.
Yes.
This guy almost averaged a triple-double.
He's a freak athlete. He does things that nobody on the court should be able to do.
There was a point in Game 6 where I thought Anthony Davis got hurt, too. Do you remember that?
No, I didn't watch that shit.
It was, he hurt it. It looked like he tore his Achilles. Like, he was reaching for his Achilles, and I was like, oh, he's done.
Ugh.
Isn't that what Boogie got?
Yeah.
That sucked. He's still good, but he's not what he was.
No.
Is he still good? I don't even know that.
It's, you can't tell because he's only played a couple of games at full strength. Well, not even full strength. He came off of the friggin' Achilles injury and came right back in. So he's trying to play on the fly in the playoffs and try and, get back. And then he hurt his knee, and then he came back and, he hasn't had a chance to really get right. He came back right off of the injury trying to contribute and be Boogie of old.
Did he get hurt in the bubble?
No, he got hurt way before the bubble.
Oh.
He is eligible for a championship ring, though, which I don't think he will accept or even want to accept because that dude is a competitor. He'd be like, fuck that. I didn't play on that team.
It would have been cool if he did.
Bro, Anthony Davis, LeBron James, and Boogie Cousins.
I know
how much,
That's
that broke my heart that fucking guy decided to sign with the Lakers just to rehab? That broke my goddamn heart. And he knew what he was doing, too, because that is a Sacramento King through and through, and he fucking went and signed with the Lakers? What kind of bullshit is that?
It makes sense for him, though, right? You got to feel...
Oh, of course. Yeah, you get to hang out with your best friend, Anthony Davis.
Are they best friends, really?
They're super tight. That's one of the good reasons why he went to, wanted to re-sign with New Orleans.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I mean, they gave him a shit offer, so he didn't, but...
You know what I was surprised by?
Huh.
The NLCS Game 7 had a higher TV rating than any NBA Finals game this year.
Yeah, there's a lot of talk about ratings.
I never saw that coming. Why do you think that? But baseball's not dying, but people don't really.
Baseball's been on an upswing, I think, for the last couple of years, though.
I think so too.
Yeah,
But
but
beating
you
the
can't,
NBA, the NBA is like, I mean, obviously the NFL is on its own, but the NBA is a huge league on its own.
right? But when you have competition with the NFL, with the MLB,
That's a
I
good
think
point.
it, you know,
Yeah, because the NLCS that was like 2 days ago. No other game was playing that night. I don't think. That's probably why that happened.
yeah. But you know, it's good. You got playoff baseball.
Who do you think's going to win the World Series? Oh, Rays probably, right? Because you're
I
a
don't
hater.
know because I still haven't really seen the Rays play. I don't know how good they are. I don't know what they got going on.
They're really good. Their pitching is probably the best in the league, and their hitting, when they do hit, is good. But they're super streaky.
Yeah, because that's what scared me about this. You know, the championship series is because both the Rays and the Braves had big early series leads,
Yeah.
and then I look up, you know, a couple days later, I'm like, oh shit, it's, you know, they're going to game sevens and
I
shit.
know.
I'm like, what the hell?
Especially the Rays were up 3-0 and then force a game 7, but thankfully it wasn't. It was close, but it wasn't really that close. Fuck the Astros.
Yeah, fuck the Astros. So as long as they beat the
The
Dodgers,
Bra-
I'll be happy. I just the LA
I
sports
just want
community
Kershaw
is so
to
disgusting.
get a ring.
I do
Kershaw
too.
deserves
I
a
like
ring.
Clayton Kershaw.
Yeah, he's so
Fuck
good.
the Dodgers. Fuck the Lakers. Fuck
Kershaw-
LA sports in general.
And Betts.
Get-
Who else do they have? Bellinger's pretty good, right?
I like Bellinger. He is fucking on Pluto every time he steps into bat. That guy looks like he's high out of his mind.
I'm pretty sure
24/7.
they don't test that in the MLB, do they?
I don't know, but that dude looks like he is faded all the time.
It's like Cali Ganja.
But that's what, yeah, I hate when players I like are on shit teams and LA teams more specifically. LA sports is just like LA itself. It's a shithole.
People can say the same thing about New York, but it's not like true.
Can you give me any likable Los Angeles team in the last 20 years? Like people like them, not just like, they've got good
I like
players
the
and they're
Angels,
cool.
but they suck. I want Mike Trout to be in the playoffs every year.
Me too. Another thing, I like Mike Trout. I don't have an animosity against the Angels, but like LA sports, they've got an air of just pompous douchebaggery in every
Isn't
single
that the
league.
Hollywood though?
It is. It's the Hollywood. It's like, oh, we can do whatever we want. We're gonna be fine. We've got unlimited pockets.
And
we
you
can
know
just
what?
buy everything.
Okay.
And yeah, I'm sounding like a hater.
No.
You can buy-
It makes you feel this way. Even if you don't think you're a hater, you have all this energy right now.
Yeah, fuck LA. I said that already.
It's gonna sell. It's like WWE. You're
Bro,
gonna,
and it's not
you're gonna
only the
tune in
teams.
regardless.
Just the pompous fucking attitude of the teams that just think they can do whatever and they're just going to be great. The fucking fans. LA fans, unless you are in fucking downtown LA, just repping the Dodgers all day, their fans are the shittiest fucking fans ever.
The
You go to a
salt
Laker,
is just pouring out of you right
bro.
now.
Laker games
This
are
is-
just full of
this
rich
is-
fool.
Isn't this like the classic NorCal versus SoCal?
It totally is because, and I can speak on it because I live it, bro. Every time you watch a playoff game,
You're biased.
Every time you watch a playoff game in the playoffs for the Dodgers, you notice that the first 3 fucking innings, there's nobody in the goddamn stands. They can't show up on time to a goddamn playoff game, and they leave before the fucker's over. It's a playoff game,
Can't you blame that on the traffic?
bro. Traffic? You're trying to talk to me about traffic? If the Yankees were in the playoffs, all right,
The Yankees
If you
have a
had
subway
tickets-
that goes directly to the stadium.
and you had tickets to the game,
The,
all right,
the
and
Yankees
you
have
lived
a subway that
and you
goes
lived here,
directly to the
you would
stadium.
do whatever you had to do to get to that stadium on time. They don't give a shit. Oh, okay. We're just gonna go and we'll show up halfway through the game. Oh, they're playing cool. Let's just hang out and have some beers. And
The Yankees
and
do
talk
have the
with our-"
best sports fans in the world. I will admit that.
Yeah, I'm not talking about the Yankees. I'm just talking.
The Yankees are so good. I can't believe we have 27 World Series rings. It's just unbelievable. When was the last time the A's won a World Series?
80-something, 84.
Were you alive?
No,
Oh, that sucks. Growing up was so cool.
but
I
anyway,
love being a Yankees fan.
LA sports and LA sports fans are the worst, and so none of them can ever be appreciated or loved.
Stop
Fuck the Dodgers.
hating. Stop
Fuck
hating.
the Dodgers. Did you hear me talking shit about the Yankees? I hate the Yankees. I'm not a Yankee fan. They've broken my heart many times. I don't talk shit about their franchise. I don't talk shit about their fans.
Oh, remember the
because
Jeter
they-
flip?
Yeah, I definitely remember the fucking Jeter
fuck,
flip.
That was so good.
Yeah, it was real fucking good.
Oh, they show that like every year too.
Yeah, and I guarantee you if they had fucking replay back then, that shit wouldn't have been called out. So
No, we had replay. He was not safe, and I will admit that Derek Jeter may not have actually needed to be there though. That ball was going to reach Posada no matter what.
If I was a hater, I would say, yeah, that's Derek Jeter's trying to be a glory hound, trying to take credit for the thing.
No, in the moment. In the moment, he's trying to help the team. I get what he's trying to do.
I know. I'm just telling you.
And he made the play, and now we get to watch it 20 years. Yeah, you are a legit hater. People are gonna think this is a hater pod now.
It is a hater pod.
Only Astros. Fuck the Astros. That's what we can agree
on.
Fuck
the Astros. Fuck the Lakers.
Is that no? We can't say that last part.
Yeah, fuck the Lakers.
No. Dude, it's Kobe too. Gotta get
one for I like
Kobe
too. Bro, can you imagine how good you have to be?
I'm still so sad that
to love a player,
Kobe,
and they're on the worst team ever. I fucking hate the Lakers. Kobe's great.
I love Kobe. I look up to Kobe a lot. But enough hating. We're done. No more sports because sports is basically done.
Yeah, we're done. we're done. All right, screw it.
You're all negative. We got to get this energy off of this. I thought you were gonna say something right there,
bro. I just had a crash. Like
you just crashed.
I just crashed. That's what that was. Anyway,
on that note, yes.
Go ahead.
Go
ahead.
I wanted you to do exactly what you were gonna do.
Okay, it's Equalize Live. My name is PreciseMC. That is ILLu. If you, like I said, if you have albums you want us to listen to,
please let us know.
Hit us up on all the social media. Equalize Records. EqualizeRecords.com.
Yes, sir. PreciseMC. ILLu VT, check us out.
Yep.
Yes,
and of course,
let us know if we're doing shitty. Let us know if you want to hear more about certain subjects or less about certain subjects. Just let us know that you're listening, and we appreciate it.
Yeah, if you want to hear fucking old school hip hop stories about how ILLu and PreciseMC came up, we could tell those all day. I got that in the bag.
We got stories, and I
got lots of stories,
and they're pretty good. They're pretty darn good, and we want to get into other hip hop subjects too.
Yes. But also, whenever we do the Ill Effect podcast with DJB, remind me that we have to tell the Pinkies story.
The Pinky?
Pinkies.
The Pinkies, like plural? Pinkies story. Okay, I'll do that.
The night that we almost died and the calf muscle grabbed our leg.
I don't know the last part of that.
All will become beautifully clear. It's one of the greatest performances of my life.
Cool.
It's the Pinky story. We'll tell that story coming up. So anyway, get all your merch, equalizerecords.com/shop.
Yes, sir.
This has been Equalize Live. My name is PreciseMC.
Thank you.
That is ILLu.
Thank you so much for hosting. Go check him out on streaming services. He's got a ton of things to listen to. PreciseMC, PR department, Ill Effect, everything. Check it all out. He's the man. Thank you for hosting, bro.
All right. Love you.
Love you. Peace.
Peace.
Boom. All right. I think you came through, dude. Just about 50 minutes.